Thanks, Sergio. And we're just closing the last talk of the day, the second satellite talk of the Interactomics workshop. And it's Jean-Philippe Lonjaret. Please, Jean-Philippe. Jean-Philippe Lonjaret is Managing Director of the PhD program of Technische Universität Berlin that combines natural science and engineering. I don't know, you could explain us better what is the peculiarities of BIG-NSE AC2.
My pleasure, yes. Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico and Herman, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to present myself and the program I represent. My name is Jean-Philippe Lonjaret, so it's very French, and I'm not quite as French as my name. I mean, I spent the first 25 years of my life in France, but the last 32 years I have spent in Germany, in particular in Berlin. And there I'm responsible for a doctoral program. So I'm not a specialist, to the contrary of all of you. I'm not a specialist in proteomics. I'm not even a biologist. I'm a chemical engineer. I went to Berlin to write my PhD. And but we have a lot of people in our doctoral program who are biologists and might be interesting for you if you are a student and want to write your PhD in one of our fields, or if you want to start a collaboration. I will show you a few interesting professors in our program. So let's check if I get it right. So the program I'm representing is called Einstein Center of Catalysis now. It used to have a much longer name, and I'm happy it's shorter now. This program is the doctoral program of a so-called cluster of excellence. I don't know if you ever heard of this program in Germany. A lot of money has been invested to give a kind of elite taste to the research in Germany, and only the best program got extra money. We got every 5 years something like 30 million euro extra for developing this program. And at the first cluster was called UniCat. It was a consortium of different institutions at TU Berlin, where I'm working, where I'm employed. But we also have the Humboldt University of Berlin as a partner. We also have the Free University. Yes, I have to go in this, sorry. Works better. And also the University of Potsdam. Potsdam is very close to Berlin. And two further Max Planck institutes. One is called Fritz Haber Institute, the other one is for colloid research. And we are a group of people from different areas like biology, chemistry, physics, and chemical engineering. The main topic is catalysis, so chemical catalysis, biological catalysis. We try to find a unifying concept for this catalysis. And yeah, we used to work in different topics. Now we since 2019 we had to prolong this program, and we decided to go away from single catalytic reactions but tackle coupled catalytic system, which is much more difficult. Yeah, as you can see here, they are interacting chemical biological catalysts where they are spatial temporally coupled reactions, typical for enzyme reaction, for example. And these would be the new program of the new cluster, UniSysCat. So you have different areas, though, for example, coupled biocatalytic reactions, but also coupling of chemo and biocatalysis. And since 2019, we have three additional partners. One is the Leibniz Institute for Molecular Pharmacology. Another one is Helmholtz Zentrum Berlin. And Charité is a famous hospital in Berlin, which is also a university. And it's a group of 61 project leaders at the moment. Here some statistics about gender equality. It's very important in Germany. You see we have approximately one quarter of our people are women. And, pardon? Up. This would be the website. So if you're interested to have a look, we have a list of all the group leaders, And I picked up a few ones that might be particularly interesting for you. So one of them, Herman told me, is quite interesting for his topic. It means the cross-linking mass spectrometry. Juri Rapsilber is a colleague of the TU Berlin. We also have people at the Humboldt University, like Professor Hegemann. So I won't read the topics every time, but Holger Dobeck. Holger Dau is in X-ray spectroscopy. We have a synchrotron in Berlin, which is very useful for this kind of analysis. Adam Langer is a specialist in solid-state NMR. Mariandra Morginski is Argentinian. She comes from Corrientes originally and graduated at the Universidad de La Plata. And she's my boss, by the way. And Ariana is from Brazil. So you see, it's very international, also on the professor level. And Marius Horsch, I present this one is not only because it's also an interesting topic, also advanced vibrational spectroscopy, but also because he is one of our alumni. He studied as a PhD student in our program, went to England for a postdoc for several years, and then came back as a young project leader. So for our young people, we have several career paths. We have academia, industry, but also a third route, startups. It's something that we try to push a lot in Berlin. So here, some figures. 11 of our alumni, for example, are now professors in their country of origin or sometime in another country. We have this guy here is from Venezuela. He's a professor in the US, for example. And we also have a very close collaboration, for example, with BASF. We have a joint lab. We invested a lot of money to construct a joint lab with BASF with, you see, a lot of millions of euro every year. It's a common investigation from BASF, the TU Berlin, and also the city of Berlin invested in that. We also created some space for young researchers who just finished their PhD so that they can also start performing experiences to test a product if they can try to sell it later on. It's very important because most of the time when you finish your PhD, you might have an idea, but if you want to test it, you need some lab space, and the professor will tell you, no, sorry, I have the next one coming, I cannot keep you here. So we have extra lab space. This is a small container as a start, but we have a huge building in construction and for the field of green chemistry, and you can apply for some lab space for 3 years, for some grants also to be able to develop your idea there. So now a few words about the BIG-NSE, the EC Square program. I know we are all looking forward to having the cocktail break later, so I will try to keep it short. The main message. So we have had already 180 PhD students going through this program. We have grants every year. We've been giving up to 9 grants, sorry. Now we're currently giving 7 grants to become a PhD in our program every year. And the mission is to not only recruit excellent students from all over the world. It's a very international program. It's all in English. You don't need to speak any word of German. And then provide them with excellent conditions for their PhD and help them finish in a reasonable time, because it's sometimes a problem, and find a good position afterwards. And we have also 3 particular challenges. You saw it's a very interdisciplinary team in the cluster, so we have to try to push the people to work with each other. And it's very international. It's also a challenge, not always easy. And also to support the gender equality. We have a 2-phase curriculum. The first phase is called initial phase. It's quite short, 3.5 months, but very intensive, very important. It's about integration, orientation, and preparation. I will give some detail about that. And then the students, after these 3.5 months, they go to the research group that they chose. So this is, we call it a structured PhD program. So there is a regular evaluation every year Students have to present the progress of their work, not only in front of their professor, but in front of many others. And in every topic, you have 2 PhD supervisors, also very important. And also a parallel program, you see, with block courses, summer courses, language courses, and so on. By the initial phase, these are some of the features of this intensive introduction program. We have in particular basic lectures about all possible topics of catalysis. We have a lot of colloquia, we have excursions. Because of COVID, we could not do that lately, but this is one of the highlights of the program else. Languages are important, soft skills, and we ask the students to prepare their work plan also, so that everybody knows what are they going to do in the coming years. So these are some topics of the basic lectures. It's an example. The last batch had a lot more theories. It's coming more and more important, modeling and so on. This is a typical overview of a month, for example, with intensive German course for all the non-German students in the morning. Then you have the basic lectures, you have the excursion on Friday. On 9 Fridays with full excursion, visiting all the labs. I think we have a picture here with the excursions. It's very important. You can see how a lab in biology, in chemistry, organic chemistry looks like. For example, what is the equipment? We also have a very nice building where the students can relax and meet and also work. We have also meetings, we have social evenings. It's nice for the cohesion of the students. The idea is we also organize some social evenings regularly, going out for bike tours. Berlin is a very nice place where a lot of nature around. You don't have to go very far away to see horses, for example. And yeah, the idea is to have everybody feel like a bit in a family, that you don't feel alone, completely depending on your supervisor. A few more words. If you're interested, you have 2 ways to enter. If you have your own fellowship, if you have an external funding, for example, maybe from CONICET, I know that some people came with some CONICET grant. You just have to find one supervisor from the list that I showed you before, and then ask him or her if he would take you in his or her lab. The other way is, that's a list again of all the professors. The other way is to apply online for a scholarship. So this I didn't want to show, sorry, I don't know why it's we have on the website a list of project proposals that have been designed by our professors. They look for people working on these topics. You see some of the names that I mentioned before. Ariana Nunes Alves, Holger Dorbeck, for example. And so if one of these topics is interesting for you, you just apply saying, okay, I would like to work on this project. What can happen also is that none of this topic is really interesting for you, but you have the feeling you could work in this group, maybe in cooperation with this group. Then you can contact the main professor and ask, what do you think about this idea? I could, with my expertise, I could imagine working on this field. And this would also be acceptable. Normally, we have a login, we have an application portal, but because of an IT problem, it didn't work this year, so the application has to be sent per email. It's all explained on the website how to do that. But the deadline is January 15 every year, so if you're interested in starting your PhD in October next year, then you should apply before January 15. Yeah, what you need is a master in a relevant field. You need excellent marks, and if possible some awards. You have to be in some way better than the majority of the other students. Very good English is also important. And 2 letters of recommendations. So we usually for the 7th scholarship we have up to 150 applications, and we invite people for an interview, although lately it's been online. We used to invite people to Berlin, but yeah, online is also possible. We invite up to 20 applicants, and the best ones can then start in the program. Here's some figures about the origin of the students. You see that very international, 75%. currently, although it changes every year. As you can see, we don't have so many from South America. It also changes all the time. We had a lot of people also from Colombia, from Mexico, from Peru, Ecuador. Currently, we have one student from Argentina, from Buenos Aires, who's excellent. So we have a very good impression about Argentinian students. And yeah, we have a lot of Chinese, you will say, because China has a PhD support program for PhD. They send their people all around the world with a so-called CSC scholarship. And we have a lot of them. So yeah, about the gender balance, you see we have almost 40% female in our school. This is the last batch. You see the typical batch. Here we have a Brazilian, some Germans, some Chinese, Iranian, Indian. So it's quite interesting to meet these people from all over the world, I would say. And also from the scientific background, also very, very diverse, also very interesting. So what you have also to know is that in average, it takes 4.1 years to finish a PhD. So you will ask me what happened with the last year, because you said the scholarship is for 3 years. Or did I say that? No, it's for 3 years. And it's a scholarship for 1 year, and then a position as a PhD student, as an employee of the university for 2 years. And the 4th year, usually the professor pays it out of his own budget. And I don't know if there are grades in Argentina for PhD. In Germany there are, although not in all universities anymore, but at the TU, for example, there are, and 90% of our students have an excellent or very good grade. And as far as publications are concerned, they publish 1.2 publications per year on students usually, so it's quite a high publication activity. And many of them as a result of a collaborative work with another UniSysCat group or even another BIG-NSE student. And as far as the jobs are concerned, although we have almost half academic and industry career and 10% for jobs like patent branch or publication, IT or education. That's it. Thank you for your attention. And, if you have any questions.
Merci, Jean-Philippe. Any questions? How to apply? Want to apply? What is your suggestion? Just send an email if you have that. Send an email to info@.
Yes, first read the page, because there are instructions which papers you have to send, and I recommend to send all the application in one batch, not, you know, it's better. And yeah, and try to see if there are professors or supervisors, project leaders who could be interesting for you.
Hello, thanks for the presentation. I was wondering, since here, at least here in Argentina, most of the students that finish their undergraduate students go straight into the PhD. And there you mentioned that you need to have a master's degree. Maybe that's because here the undergrad is a large one in comparison with some.
Is it? Are you talking about licenciado or?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the Argentine student that we had, for example, he had. I wanted to say only a licenciado, but then he spent some time. He spent some additional time making a project, a research project. You know, if you have a 6 months research project somewhere, then it will count, and in most of the universities in Germany, as a master. It will be recognized as a master, and then it's enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So maybe like the undergraduate thesis is a research project, and maybe that could count after.
The thing is, because the undergraduation takes so long in Argentina, you know, it can count as what is important is how many years you've been studying, because in every country, you know, they call it differently, and so what counts, we exactly count how many years you've been studying, and if you had, for example, this kind of master thesis, we call it, where you spend 6 months working on a project in a lab, making your own experiments. And then there is a process of acknowledgement. The problem is sometimes you might have to take a few extra modules if for the supervisor you're going to think that you might not have the level. Then you might have to do some extra modules, and many of them are in English now. So You don't even have to quickly learn German, which is an advantage.
Okay, thank you.
One more question, two more questions there. You could.
Well, about that, I also was a licenciada in biotecnología, and when I applied for this, I had that issue because licenciado, it's a bachelor. But we solved the problem that with the translation we put first degree. And first degree, yes, it's acknowledged, it's official, it's not cheating, it is a first degree, and then it's the same as a master or a diploma in the German case. So I think you should try to inform yourself of the equivalences, and that should not be a problem.
Yeah, it can be as stupid as that, just a question of translation, and then you solve the problem sometimes.
Hi. You mentioned that you look for students that can finish the PhD in a reasonable time. What would be a reasonable time? Because I don't know. I believe here the timings is a little bit weird compared to the rest of the world.
It's a little bit what? Longer?
A bit weird compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah, okay. So in Germany, it used to be 5 years if you had a position as an assistant. But as an assistant, you had to give courses. You were a kind of helper to the professor. When you have a scholarship or an extra funding, you don't have to do that. So you can do it. If the average is 4 years, we have people who take much longer because they want to make an academic career. They want to reach 10 publications or whatever. So. But there are people who manage to finish within 3 years. Reasonable is that you still have good chances to have a good job. You know, if it takes too long, then you lose. Maybe you have a 20 publication, but then if you don't find a job, it's not worth doing that. So that's what I mean with reasonable.
One more question.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you have any advice to write properly a letter or for present it to a lead manager?
For the application?
Yeah.
If I have any...
Any advice?
Advice. Well, difficult. We're looking for personalities, for people with potential. So it's not only about the grades. Grades are difficult to compare anyway, you know. Even within a country, every university has different grading system. So we try to, it's not only the grades, we look what the person has been doing, if it's been maybe also being abroad or spending extra time in the lab doing interesting things. The letters of recommendation are very important also. And we insist for getting them directly, that they get sent to me, not through the students, because sometimes there are some differences. Yeah, so yeah, try to be honest also, it's important. Sometimes we realize people trying to cheat, and then we check, and then it doesn't fit. And yeah, don't make it too long. The Germans don't like the very long text, you know. I know so in some countries it's important that you write three pages of motivation letter. No, doesn't work. Yeah, and try to make your case. If you apply for one particular project proposal, try to explain why you would like to do that. Why is it interesting for you, and why you could be interesting for the professors, because of your education. And also why would you like to work in such an environment, international and interdisciplinary? This is important.
I have one more question. Is an advantage to apply with two professors?
Yes, you can
try
only
to use
apply
a
for
combined project. When you made the application,
yeah.
Making a proposal with two professors,
Yeah, because
that is a pro for the application.
That's what we try to enhance, you know, that the interdisciplinary work. So you definitely should try to find something at the interface between two groups. That's an advantage because there are too many scientists who work, confined in their own group and not looking what the neighbor does, and you get many new ideas when working in cooperation with other people.
Fantastic.
Does the program include travel help, accommodation in Germany, or is something that the student must find on their own?
We're here to help with all administration tasks. Although, of course, it's difficult to help every student with an accommodation, but we have a group of 57 students currently, and including the previous batches who are already installed. And every time somebody is looking for an accommodation, for example, I write to all of them and say, look, can somebody help? And we always have students say, yeah, I'm going to finish. I defend tomorrow. My apartment will be free. So we have a pool of people helping. And everyone coming has a buddy, welcoming him or her from the airport, helping with at the beginning with the administration stuff. Yeah, it's different. If you belong to a group, it's completely different. Yeah.
Questions? Okay. Many thanks. And we're closing this first day with some chill out event in the esplanade of the IBR. Yeah, we go there and we find it there personally. There is a wine tasting and some mini cocktail and some folks to relax. So you are all welcome to move there.
Yeah, tomorrow we begin at 9 in the morning.
This is also important.